The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for Lindsay.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I would like to rise today just to place on my record how out of touch this government is, not only here in Canberra but also the New South Wales state government, about to knock down two perfectly good stadiums, one which was only built recently, but another one that, you know, $2.5 billion about to be spent on stadiums which do not require knocking down and rebuilding at the expense of so many other infrastructure projects in my community in particular. They're knocking down and rebuilding these stadiums, but we think that we're happy to offer some suggestions, Deputy Speaker, on some of the alternatives that they might like to spend their $2.5 billion on instead. Now, for example, we could build 4 regional hospitals, and I know, Deputy Speaker, in your part of the world that might make sense. 139 primary schools, especially when we look at the growth in our country and how many more kids are going to need to go to school, and also the secondary school dilemma that we've currently got in my electorate of Lindsay. So that would be 62.5 high schools. And what about that Nepean Hospital that I have to get up in here week in and week out and currently tell everybody that it is still the most under pressure hospital in New South Wales, but we don't have $1 billion coming to that like the other 4 major hospitals in the community. We have only $550 million. It won't even bring us up to the standard that we needed yesterday, let alone than what we'll need in 5 years from today. So we see $2.5 billion being spent in knocking down and rebuilding 2 perfectly good stadiums. Now, you've got to really give the Liberals in New South Wales credit for their stupidity on this, because the public are not a bunch of mugs. They understand and they know when money is being wasted and when it is being flaunted, and it is not their money to waste, it is the taxpayers' money, and they demand better and they ask for better. They've already signed a petition with over 150,000 signatures, which came in under 24 hours. So congratulations to Peter Fitzsimmons for organising that. Mr Deputy Speaker, we also have a brand new toll on a road that was previously tolled. We removed the toll road, they then extended it. Now we have a brand new toll which is going to cost people in my electorate $2,500 per year more, simply just to get to and from work every day. That is completely unacceptable and incredibly out of touch. But it is the case that we see over and over and over again from this government. The changes to the train timetables that we also now see, which look to me like a slow passage for privatisation of the trains when the government turn around and say, oh, it's not our business to run these trains. But adding about 15 minutes each way to the journey of the communities in my electorate who have to go, 83% of them who have to travel over an hour each day to get to and from work. Now, we've also got the proposal to build the world's largest incinerator, which is quite a backwards way of dealing with waste, but anyway, we won't labour too much on that point. It's going to be 800 metres from home and dumped on the doorstep of a local school without any adequate environmental protections, although I think it'd be a bit humorous in saying adequate protections, because I'm not sure that the government even knows that there are such things that exist with such a large project. And well, why don't we talk about the 24-hour airport while we're also here, that's being dumped on my doorstep, being told that we're going to get all of the jobs for all of the local people. It has no infrastructure to go with it. But when we ask about the details, when we ask about the transparency, it is surprisingly or unsurprisingly lacking. The Minister for Infrastructure has invited me to a briefing tomorrow afternoon at almost 5 o'clock, when we should be, or today rather, when we should be leaving here instead of sitting down to deal with this, has knocked back my request on 2 occasions to be appointed to the committee that is considering this, even though that airport falls in my electorate. Of course, he's on the board for the Mascot Airport, and that is not even in his electorate, along with 10 other MPs. And we also haven't forgotten the promises that those opposite made at the last election to reduce power bills by $550 per year. And that, Mr Deputy Speaker, in my community where temperatures during summer hit peak, would make a massive, massive, massive difference. They haven't forgotten that promise that was made and that promise that is broken, but now not only has the promise been broken, it's been substituted not with $550, but with $150, which is about 50 cents per week, which won't make a difference when they're paying additional tolls. We've seen the annual bill in my electorate since 2013 rise by close to $1,000. Yet these opposite continue with their cuts to schools, cuts to TAFE, cut to our local university. We want better schools, better results and better support, and they are out of touch.
Order.